Good evening and welcome to Community Coffee Talk. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host. Tonight, we talk about current challenges and new pathway for our community. When you consider challenges facing the community to achieve success, it's very, very important to identify those challenges. It could be related to skills shortage, facilities not available to the community, lack of opportunities for community, education, skill set, infrastructure, and poor revenue. Any engagement in development of community projects where capacity is not there. These are few I'm mentioning as a part of the challenges that community will face. Sometimes neglect by the community, by the parents, by the society and the community cause problem. Sometimes there is a crime and domestic violence that affects the community. We always talk about community and political leadership, but we have to go beyond that. Some of the community members may have children or adults facing drug use, abuse. Some may be living in an area which is not good for children. Community also face ethnic conflict because we have a very diverse society. Sometimes there are health issues. Those of us who have come from a different environment have challenges in our society. Some people have lost jobs. There are hunger issues. We have so many food banks that every time coronavirus hit, we were seeking more and more funding. Our mayor, our charities, our communities, our citizens were helping to raise funds. These are part and parcel with the leadership that we elect in the city, provincial, and federal level. Sometimes there is an inadequate emergency services, but I say in Canada, particularly in Mississauga, we have amazing health system, and our health professional has beaten the coronavirus. We still have a continuous challenges. Maybe we need more hospitals, but it's much better than any others. Do we have inequality for when you seek job? Because we want to see diversity, especially the public offices. Do we have adequate housing for poor people? The question comes to us being a Canadian, one of the best rated country in the world to live and grow your family, why we still have the poverty problem? Injecting money to support well-being under coronavirus is understandable because we need to bring back our economy. But we should not have a shortage of houses for poor people. We should not have low-cost housing. People have dignity and respect for themselves. The government has provided job opportunities for them. Our private sector generate those jobs to make sure all segments of society are progressing. And we stop this poverty. Billions and billions of dollars are spent on poverty every year by the federal government. But only a small portion of the time or the money and resources are spent on eradicating the poverty, the root causes of the poverty. Because millions of professions are connected with the poverty. When a person fall from the grace, get involved with the poverty, become homeless, he has an issue, health issues, maybe abuse of drugs, family separation, conflict. It triggers more health problem, drug use, can't afford to pay for the rent and utilities. These are symptoms. And then lots of people have legal issues and claims when they fall into this unfortunate group of homeless. So when we are electing people, we have to think about choosing the quality people who cares about building bridges, building loving, caring society, not just blindly follow the platform of the party. They think about as a Canadian, think about fellow citizen who is struggling. Help them find jobs, respectful jobs, give them dignity, restore their integrity, giving them opportunity. Everybody wants to work. This is very, very important. It's a part of the society. We are one community. When we talk about community, community includes everybody, our ethnic diversity. We have to uplift our people, not drag them down. We have to be happy there are successful people, and those successful people should not forget there are majority of them are struggling. Especially pandemic has really shattered the possibility of doing business. So many people will be losing their job and businesses. And I'm sure with new ideas and technologies and concept and government support, we will revive the economy. But they are part and parcel of challenges that we are facing and how we find a new pathway for our community to grow. Politics is not the only item on the agenda. I know when there is a one opening, everybody stands up and put an application. And that's the only time we see those people. We don't see them when community is suffering or needs some help. The other issue that has recently ignited about racism, Black Lives Matter. I believe all life matters. We are all Canadian. We need to respect our society, our fellow citizen, obey the law, and help humanity, our fellow citizen. If someone is suffering, we got to go and help them. The most important thing is to realize the blessing that we have as a Canadian and how we can help. I was with my wife today and driving to get something before I come back. I was stopped by the police. Somebody's similar name, first and last name, somewhere stolen identity. The police officer came and I gave him my driving license, and a few minutes later he came back, sorry, this is somebody else. They were doing their job. I have no objection to it. I actually admire them that they have stopped me. I cannot call this a discrimination, or there is somebody who did a fraud. But this is part and parcel with a lot of people that affected our diverse community. We have so much. And we look at the crime, we look at abuse of power, or whatever. These are part and parcel of challenges that we have. But we need to progress. We need to find new pathway to success. So these challenges, how we can implement strategy to overcome these challenges? Who are the big player in this field? If we talk about it is very demographically selective community, then the community itself is responsible to make sure their community needs are made. You have a worship, you need a place of worship. You need to have a support facility when people get unlucky. There are some disputes and issues in the family, and family fell apart. You need to shoulder and support them. Children are involved. That's why we have welfare societies. They help. Each community needs that. Place of worship, they need that, because that's where everybody get together and help each other. Pray to Almighty Lord for all the blessing that we enjoy, and they fall from the blue sky on all of us. This is a beautiful country in the world. To grow your family, have a freedom of speech as long as you don't abuse it. You can have a job, you can have businesses, anything you would want as long as they're illegal according to the law. There is no place in the world that you want to live but in Canada. So we have to look at, as a community, to decide who are the sincere people in the community who can meet and guide us that you trust, because those are the people, they don't come to you to preach about what they're doing. They continue to function. They don't need awards. They don't need recognitions. They continue to build the community capacity. So not only the current generation benefit from it, but they have an eye on the future generation to make sure they leave behind infrastructure, the facility, the capacity of the community, so children and new generation can benefit from it. So how we implement it? The best thing is together. You all have to come together just like a family, and say, this is our need of a community, and we are willing to do this. And if you take a leadership role, you will be the first one to say, I will contribute this much. I will do this. Time is money. The most precious time is time in your life. And those people who dedicate their time and volunteer to help and serve the community should be respected and recognized and put together. No money can buy or achieve some milestone unless there is a human factor is involved. So that means we need people, sincere people, who are willing to sacrifice their quality time to help our community, to do things that benefit, educate people, help people find job, help people train them for multiple professions, support those families who have lost their income, or those people who are separated and children need some support. The government programs are there, but if community want any specific program, they have to come forward. Health program, education program, looking after the seniors, having a senior home. As we grow in the society, the culture is affected. So sometime it's very likely, not in our lifetime, but maybe next generation, our seniors may not be staying home. They need a senior homes. So maybe it's a good idea to start working on them. Again, you need energy, you need resources, you need vision, you need unity to implement strategy that'll help our community find jobs, get skill set, educate them, and prepare them being a good Canadian citizen. This is very, very important. Of course, politics is very important, but we only select the person who is prominent, a good speaker, who understands the complexity involved. He or she has a good voice. She is well integrated. She's being followed by, she or he is followed by diverse community, and most likely born here, because they can speak better English than us. But only based on merit. Have a competition, have a conversation. This is very important because leadership matters. I tell you why. When constitutions are made at House of Commons on a federal level, if you have your voice, your member of parliament, he or she can convey your sentiment, your point of view in the House of Commons. Same thing, if some matters are provincial matters, you can discuss those matters with your provincial parliamentarian. If city matter, you have ward councillors and mayor. They will create bylaws to manage the affairs of the municipality, region, or city where you live. So if you want your voice, you want to send your representative into the city hall. How you do that? You have to be together. You cannot be selfish. If someone is better than you, you support that person who's better, who have a chances to win. And plus is intelligent, passionate, committed, and willing to take chances to work to make sure your voice is heard and be your voice. You have a weak strategy. Most important thing, implementing a strategy for community or any project is developing a very good strategy. The point of view of the strategy is new vision. If we are older people like me, we have an older philosophy, strategies. Our youth have gotten higher education. They're smart, they're intelligent. They may come out with a better version. We should give them the opportunity to lead and compete. You cannot win in any field just because of your own people like you. You must be intelligent, visionary, passionate, committed, and visionary, and have a drive, kind, humble, strategist to implement your ideas, a new vision, and people will follow you. You know that in Quebec, we have a young fellow, very young, 21 years old. He became an MP. I forgot the name of young man. He's a member of parliament. That type of leadership we need. As a part and parcel with new pathway, we have to have effective training. When we talk about a successful community, we talk about very, very diverse community. You know, community has a lot of things involved. All businesses are included. Whether you're a manufacturer, you're a service provider, or you're technologies, you're an IT guy, or you're automation or automotive guy, manufacturing, they are a part and parcel of all community. In order to compete intellectually, you have to grow the community in different fields to make sure they're simultaneously learning and building capacity in businesses, trade, commerce, science, medical, engineering, robotic. This is why it's very, very important for the community to think about how we're going to train our youth if we lack ability to educate them. How are we going to achieve that, or they will achieve that? It takes a lot of sacrifice from the parents. In 30 years in my life in Canada, maybe one or two times I left the country for a couple of days because I couldn't afford it. My kids were in the highest school in Canada, and I want to make sure they have everything they needed. And thanks God, they achieved their successes. I'm very blessed. We are very blessed. So this is what we do. So we have to think same way for our community. How can we contribute, uplift our community, build capacity? And building a building is one thing. The main thing, our children are our future. They are our leaders. And how we can help them to become the leader of the future. The other issue comes to is when you are building community is lack of resources. Yes, it is true. Sometimes it requires a lot of sacrifices. We need funds to implement. But if we can share a small portion of our income and feel pride of contributing in building our community, that will be amazing. It will fill that gap where the funding, you have a strategy, you can implement it, you have resources, but you don't have the fund as a part of resources to build the capacity of the community. So it's very, very important not to ignore. The most important thing when you're building community is communication. As a community leader, if you are part of the community that wishes to change our current challenges to a new pathway to success for the community, they need to effectively communicate with community so they understand what needs to be done. It has to be sincere, honest, and your act will be trustworthy. So people believe in you and trust you. This is, and how you communicate with dignity and respect when you're seeking the help of the community. Those leaders who are involved and helping build the community and capacity, they did not do it for themselves. They did it for all of us as a community. Some of them may not be here. What they did many, many years ago, that I came 30 years ago, we are benefiting for what was done before us. And it creates obligation on our part to move this forward and contribute and give back a small portion. कतरे कतरे से दरिया बनता है. With a small drop of water becomes a river. So if we start thinking that we want to achieve something and we agree on something, and then we will build that, provide that resources, and how much pride that it is. Working together as a team, together. Not me, it's us. Not you, it's all of them. Or all of us. This is how communities are built. The most important thing when people don't achieve success in a community is the following up. If few of us who are blessed and willing to work and contribute to society, they put together strategy, people, fund, and resources. And some projects of infrastructure are very high value. It really needs a lot of money. As long as the project is sincere for the benefit of the charity or the community, and it's very transparent and accountable. But most important thing is following up on your promise to do something. If you promise to help, you promise to contribute, you promise to volunteer, you promise to donate, you promise to manage, you promise to operate, then fulfill your promise. This is very important. And most important thing in community is understanding the challenge. What are the challenges? If you don't know what are the challenges, how can you do them? How can you solve a problem, a solution? It is not about putting a show. It is not about having a television program and so many people talking about community, community, community. It is actually doing the work that hardly anybody see. People spend day and night. When you are making money during the day, some dedicated people are working day and night to build the capacity of the community. They don't preach. They need your help, support, a small contribution, and be part of it. You may have an amazing suggestion. That's why we have a think tank. And this is very important for the community to build a committee or a team, think tank, who will help define strategy, find what are the challenges, how we can overcome them, how we fix them. Because when you have a challenge and you know you find the solution, then in order to implement the solution, it will require resources. And people are the main resources, and second is some financial support resources. So this is why it's very, very important that I thought that we talk about these things, and they're not about politics, about leadership. We need leadership in all fields, whether it's science, technology, community service, manufacturing, engineering. Some engineering friends who are doing amazing education seminars for engineering. I salute them because they are dedicating and recognizing their fellow engineers who have been in Canada and making a difference in people's life in Canada. So once you found the problem, challenge, a solution, you got the solution, you finish it, you implement it, then you have to sustain that. It's just like infrastructure. You build a bridge. After first you need money to build the bridge. When the bridge is built, then you have a maintenance to maintain the bridge. So when you have the capacity of the community platform that you built, you need to support it. Similarly, if you are doing a training program or health issue, support services, you need to sustain that services for the people, because you identified a challenge, you fixed the challenge, and now you maintain that services. It's very important. Why should we be community-based? Because there are cultural issues. There are religious issues. Way of people life is an issue. Sometimes you can find good solution for your community, not anybody else. That is why it is serve our broader community, our diverse community, to include people from different communities as a part of your team. You have a culture program, you have a faith program, which under Voice of Canadian Citizen we have been doing program. Because of coronavirus, we stop all these activities. Because building bridges, building loving and caring society and youth leadership is our motto, our goal. And society and the community can only benefit when broader community is part of your unity. You also, is very, very important that you get involved, diverse community, to participate in your activities. Because you learn by interacting, by sharing, by communicating, inviting, sharing culture with each other. It creates more harmony, peace, and love when you learn about other faith groups, other friends. We have come from different, very diverse environment where conflicts has always been there in our lifetime. In Canada, we live in a peaceful, with harmony, respect, and we have so many friends from our different community. Back home, if they were there, they would be fighting, killing each other. Here we have friends having dinner, lunch together. What a beautiful country in the world. So this is very important for us to build our diverse community and have a full participation. Now, growth of the community. Government has a program, they give you funding for program. Many programs available for youth, education, employment, subsidies. Under coronavirus, federal government has given so much money that our debt has gone over $1 trillion now in the first time in Canada's history. It's very, very scary. We owe over $1 trillion as a Canadian citizen. So every citizen owe money now. I don't know, $50,000 based on the population, divided $1 trillion over 35 million, that can tell you the figure. How we can overcome that? That's a part of this, of another subject that we'll talk. But if we, each one of us who have a unique community, and we take care of our community, we take care of our seniors, we take care of our vulnerable people, poverty people, people that are homeless, children that need food, or food bank they need support, health issues. If we can start working on our own people, in addition to what the government of Canada, Ontario government, and city of Mississauga, for example, for my city, is providing, that would be tremendous value. No community can achieve success unless they have resources and asset. Each one of us have, according to our capacity, asset created which are personal, owned by us. But the community has its own needs. It needs its resources. They need the talent. They need asset. They need funds to build the centers, for example, community center for our community. Place of worship, we are building one. I'm a chair of Medal Islamic Center. We need funds. And our community is working to raise funds for the building. So those assets are very critical for the survival of the community. So it's very, very important, my friend who are listening, Community Coffee Talk, current challenges and new pathway for community. I hope this topic of discussion has brought some thinking to your mind, which encourage you not only financially support, but also give your ideas and encourage you to participate, because your experience could be very valuable for our community. That can make a difference. To make a real difference, volunteer. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a host of Community Coffee Talk. I hope the topic of today have brought you some food for thought. But if you like to give any comment, please visit Community Coffee Talk on Facebook and post your comment. If you have missed any of my episode, you can go to realtycoffeetalk.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the button bell so you can be notified about the new program. Before I end my program, I take this opportunity to thank our health workers, our doctors, nurses, staff, police officers for their dedication and commitment to serve fellow citizens, putting your own life online to cure coronavirus patients under your supervision. May God bless you. May God bless your family. And we thank you. May God bless Canada. Thank you for watching. You can hear this program on next Wednesday at 7 p.m. at Community Coffee Talk. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Good night.